founder and editor-in-chief, Kevin Delaney.
Hi, everybody. On behalf of my co-founders, Jay and Aaron, and all of our colleagues, I'm really excited to welcome you to the 4th Annual Charter Workplace Summit. Thank you for being part of this. And many of you have been with us on this journey over the last 4 years. So what did you think of the kids of Charter and our friends there? Follow the rules and be kind was sort of my main takeaway. We sometimes talk about how the future is a safe place to play, and that's why we started with those kids, because today kids are often better at exactly that. And we want this to be a day that's not only about the past, not only about how things are, but actually how the future is, and hope to bring you some ideas for how we can collectively all get there. So with that, I want to call up two very important people to this day, Katie George and Edith Cooper, who are the co-chairs of today's Charter Workplace Summit. So thank you. Thank you both. And I just want to say a brief word. Many of you know Katie and Edith because everyone knows Katie and Edith. But just to say a brief word about each of them. So when we had our first Charter Workplace Summit, Edith was one of the people who was at the very, very top of our list of people who we wanted to learn from and whose voices we wanted to amplify. And she and her daughter and business partner, Jordan Taylor, were the co-chairs of the first annual Charter Workplace Summit. And it was Zoom, it was virtual, because that's how we did things then. And I wanted, just before we go forward, I want to note that Edith's daughter and business partner a few days ago gave birth to a daughter, Edith. So congratulations. Thank you, Edith.
Appreciate that.
Edith is, well, I just want to note also about Edith, like one thing about Edith is that she's so professionally successful and wise, but she actually leads with openness and curiosity, and that I really appreciate. So many leaders lead as if they know everything, and you actually are all about like, how can we together figure out how to make things better? So thank you for doing that. And just a brief word about Katie. Katie and I met in a coffee shop. Actually, we met in 2 coffee shops because the first one closed and the second one wanted to close. And so neither of us could take ourselves too seriously because they were trying to kick us out the entire time we were having our first conversation. And from that, I learned that Katie is undaunted, basically. We made it through the conversation. And like Edith, she's someone who leads with openness and curiosity. Your background as a consultant, a lot of it is in manufacturing, actually. And so you're thinking about the future of work is grounded in a lot of those realities and the sort of systems thinking and process orientation that is part of what we're bringing to this field as well. So thank you both for doing this. I so appreciate the support. And I want to start out before we get into the main program, just by asking you the sort of subtitle or the theme of the conference is the New Leadership Playbook. And maybe I'll start with you, Edith. What thoughts does that bring to you, the new leadership playbook?
Well, I had it pretty well scripted, but then I heard the children speak, and I think I can whittle it down to some real basic but not so easy things, which is leadership has to be defined in a way that really suggests that the real primary responsibility of leadership is to create an environment where all people can really thrive. Not some people, not a subset of the subset, but a broader community, because that's when excellence happens. That is what the new leadership playbook needs to be. Probably could have asked the question 10 years ago and someone might have said similar things, but I think the new playbook is that people actually have to do it to be leaders. Unfortunately, that's a game changer, but it's a super exciting time and opportunity.
Katie, new leadership playbook, what is that? What reaction does that?
I very much agree because, if you think about maybe when you guys were doing your first conference, would we have predicted ChatGPT and the impact that had on all of us?
Just 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Would we have predicted the wars that are going on right now and the nature of that? Would we have predicted that geopolitics is driving more business decision-making than capital flows? I mean, that's just crazy. And so I think, as I thought about, well, what does that mean for a leader? I think a lot about Abraham Lincoln and the team of rivals. right? Leaders have to put themselves into a situation where they and their teams are being challenged and rethinking things, taking big bets, but pivoting really fast. And so I think the reality is very different from, my initial McKinsey days, where we would, do a blue book where we wrote a beautiful 5-year strategy, and all you had to do was follow that blue book. That doesn't exist anymore. And so I think this, as you said, the kind of leader who will be successful has to be the leader who is really open and creating an environment for everyone to come to the table with opposing points of view, and to really challenge and think, because there is no playbook. So that's, I think, an exciting opportunity, but also kind of a different type of leadership than some of our leaders have been trained to be.
Is there a 5-year strategy anymore?
Yeah.
that seems quaint.
Yeah.
Before we dive into anything specific you're looking forward to today in the sessions or conversations, Katie?
I think this is just a moment of so much potential opportunity and disruption, and I just am really enjoying already the conversations with many of you about ideas. How are we rethinking skilling? How are we thinking apprenticeship and growth and career ladders? How are we rethinking, bringing technology to human process, and what is the skills that humans need to have? So I'm just looking forward to learning from all of you.
Great. Edith?
I would agree. I mean, you all are in the leadership business. You are the center of gravity of excellence around what one needs to do to really create environments where companies can innovate and grow and make an impact. It's a hard craft. It's also a very, very exciting one if you have a never-ending thirst to learn, to be curious, and to ask why. That is what's required now. It's always been required. I just would say that right now it's more non-negotiable than it's ever been before, because people are complicated and are expecting that of us.
They're expecting that of us. So we've worked together for the last few months to construct the program for today, and we have top executives, thinkers, people from academia, from all sorts of industries, experts in AI and other important things. And we're going to cover the issues that we've heard from many of you are the most urgent, important, valuable topics for you to really get your heads around. And that includes things like AI and work, flexible working, politics in the workplace in a contentious election year. And the idea is to equip you with ideas and tactics that you can take back to your everyday following this. So I have a few quick notes before we dive in. The first one is just to note that this is a culmination and a really great expression of what Charter does. But we actually do this every day during the year. And there are a bunch of you who get our email newsletter, and a lot of you here who are Charter Pro members who actually get the research and the twice a week briefings and all the things. And so I just encourage you, if anyone wants to, in terms of Charter Pro membership, Sarah by the reception at the front, we have a bunch of organizations where their teams have memberships. And if you're getting energy and ideas from today, we humbly submit that we can do this with you throughout the year. The other thing I wanted to mention is that we could not at all do this without the support of our sponsors. So I want to just spend a minute. And what's, I think, really exceptional is our sponsors are not just bringing the financial support that allows us to have this nice space and feed everyone lunch, but actually are bringing something really integral to the program. And so I want to just call them out, and you've seen them all around. So our premier sponsor is LinkedIn. So thank you to LinkedIn for their support of this. We have partnership sponsors, AARP, JustWorks, the Preston Associates, and Understood. And we have our supporting sponsors, Carta, Athena, Life Labs Learning, Open Water, and Tough Day. And you've seen throughout the venue already, there are ways that you can learn more about what a lot of these organizations are doing. And then one last note is one unique thing that we do, and I frankly think more events should do this, is that our team assembles a playbook from the content throughout the day that we're going to send you all in a week or two. That's actually notes from each session, links to actually watch the video. I always go to events and I think I scribble down notes and think I'm going to share the great insights with my colleagues, and then I lose my notebook and it never happens. And so just to protect you against that eventuality, we're going to actually send you in a week or two a document that you can use to actually share with your colleagues and build on today. So with that, Katie and Edith, they're going to be back up here very shortly, leading some of the sessions. But thank you for
Thank you.
everything and